Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Program Yourself Thin podcast. Today we're talking about, are you smart enough to lose weight? Because if you keep trying diets that you've tried multiple times before and failed on to lose weight, then the answer is probably no. You can't keep doing the thing that doesn't work, expecting it's going to work. That's not a very smart thing to do. So if you're going to be smart enough, is pretty simple answer to the question is, are you willing to do something more intelligent to actually get the results you want? And if you keep doing the thing that doesn't work, that's not a very intelligent thing to do. So what's the alternative? Well, the alternative is to stop dieting, stop doing shit that you don't like to do. Why would you do something you hate doing in order to get a result you want if you can't keep it up? What's the point? Weight is one of those things that reflects what you're doing. So you can lose weight, do all sorts of stuff you don't like to do, lose the weight. But then if you can't keep doing the things you don't like doing, you're going to put the weight back on. So why start another plan that you hate doing so that you can just repeat that process over again? That doesn't seem very smart. So are you smart enough to realize you keep doing the same thing over and over, getting the exact same results? And are you smart enough to start doing something different? I can't answer that for you, but that's the question. And so sit and think about that. Am I going to keep doing the same things I've been doing, or am I going to do something different? What's the different way? Let me just share it with you so that we have an alternative. The diets are all built around losing weight so that you can get to your goal weight. The alternative to it in a real dramatic fashion is to focus on weight mastery, which means not only do you want to get to your goal weight, but more importantly, you're more focused on living at your goal weight for the rest of your life on near autopilot. Okay, so that becomes the initial goal. So how do we make that happen? Because these are two completely different goals: to lose weight as fast as possible, to live at my goal weight for the rest of my life on near autopilot. And the strategies we use to create each of those goals are completely different. And the strategies to lose weight as quick as possible are the most extreme strategies, the most extreme things you can do. Keto, cutting down to 1,200 calories, tracking every single calorie you put in your body. And the alternative to live at your goal weight forever is to start to transform the way that you eat so that it's built around you in a way that's at least relatively comfortable for you. And it's built for the long term so that you slowly and systematically and strategically start to develop the ways to eat and to live that allow you to live at your goal weight, that are relatively comfortable, that you grow into, that you automate, that you normalize for yourself so that they start to become just the way that you live. And that's a longer process, but don't you want to keep the weight off for good anyways? Wouldn't it be smarter to focus on maintaining and living at your goal weight more than it would be to just get to the goal weight as fast as possible in a way that you know for a fact at this point is unsustainable? So these are the questions to think about. And whether you consider yourself a smart person or not is up to you. But let this mull in your mind for a little bit, and hopefully you'll come to the other side and make a new decision to walk a new path so that you can finally get the results that you truly deserve and want. So I hope this helps you out. If anyone else has any questions, feel free to ask them. And that was a fun one. At one point, Program Yourself Thin was going to be weight loss for smart people. So it's nice to just say it out loud. Because, again, it doesn't make much sense when you think about it this way, does it? So anyways, hey, Tree Dunham, I see what's going on. Yep, I am smart enough. All right. Nice to hear that. Birch Tree, hello. How you doing? Tabitha, Jim, it's been a while. I know I haven't seen you in a little while, Tabitha. How things going? Marcy says, I'm smart. I'm on PYT day 6. All right, Marcy. Nice job. I didn't know. I saw you here yesterday, Marcy. I didn't know you were in the program. Yeah, let me know these things. Yeah, people you here that are in the program, let me know. Because I always give you guys a little extra shine here, help you out more. This is, if you're not in my coaching program, I'm happy to help move you along forward here, So again, I'm here for you. But yeah, Marcy, you are smart then. Day 6. You're just getting started with it. So yeah, you're in for quite a ride. Thank you, Tabitha. Is it your friendship necklace? I appreciate that. I was like little gifts, especially TikTok. TikTok has some funny things they do. All right, Tina's another smart one. She's on day 5. All right, so it's nice, and I'm extra proud of you. I am. I'm always obviously any of my clients I'm happy with, but I'm extra proud of the people that sign up. I think people that sign up like right now, July and December are typically the slowest months for weight loss, right? Because people kind of just, summer's here, I'm checking out a little bit, so I'm always extra proud of the people that, that sign up right around like 4th of July or right around Christmas. I said, geez, these people are really committed and they're outliers. You're obviously like unique thinkers, and you're probably to some degree, if you're part of program yourself, then you're probably overthinker, stubbornish, contrarian, perfectionist, a lot of these things. So I love the contrarian nature of starting a weight loss plan when most people are kind of checking out. So that's awesome. And Christy, yes, I'm glad I see you again, Christy, because I'm going to send you a message. I don't take I've been really busy the last couple of weeks here with a lot of different stuff, so I forgot, but I'm going to send you a message, Christy, because I would love to speak with you, and I'd love to interview you. It'd be real cool because I know a little bit about your background, and the fact that you're thriving in the program and you just finished the 80 days and I'm at my goal weight. That's wonderful, because I know that the way you did it is different, and again, that's what happens with this approach. So am I saying that program yourself thin is the only way to do that? Well, I think it is, but I don't want to say it is, because it's the philosophy. The philosophy is the bigger thing. And the philosophy starts by focusing on living at your goal weight for the rest of your life on your autopilot. That's the goal. And I think that's what separates program yourself thin from diets, right? In a nutshell. There's obviously a lot more to that, but the initial goal is completely different. And I think when you set a goal that is a higher level goal, wanting to lose weight is a shitty, impoverished goal. It's like saying you're in debt and I just want to get out of debt. I just want to lose the weight. Yeah, because I get it. You're in a state of, intense pain. You just want to get out of that. I understand that. But sometimes that short-term focus of just wanting to just want to lose the weight sets you up for long-term failure. And so again, you don't just want to lose the weight. You want to live at your goal weight. You don't just want to get out of debt. You want to be wealthy. So a lot of times when we just focus on the short-term stage that we're just getting out of that, we end up kind of getting a cycle of just repeating it forever. And this is where a lot of you dieters find yourself, where you're in this nonstop cycle of losing the weight, then putting it back on, lose the weight, put it back on. And it gets harder and harder each time, because you get more and more demotivated, because the back of your mind says, shit, what's the point? Even when I lose it, I put it back on. That's a tough place to be. So we got to transform ourselves from the inside out into the person that we want to be. Right. That's the secret. And ironically, it's not really that hard. I always say this, that weight loss is a lot harder than weight mastery. That may sound counterintuitive, but it's very true, because weight loss is so extreme. It's so difficult. You're trying to change everything all at once. And weight mastery is really about dedicating the time, energy, and focus strategically to transforming yourself into the person who's able to be thin and healthy for the rest of your life. So what's up, Julie? I'm in the program, but we'll need coaching sessions in the evening if available. Yeah, Julie, you know the deal. If you want to ever sign up for coaching, and this goes for anyone that's if you're doing like kind of the regular program without coaching, we do have the live Tuesday calls. But if you want to, work directly with me, I got the coaching groups on Tuesday nights and Thursday afternoons. And again, I mean, I understand money's relative, but for you in the program, you can sign up for the coaching, 8 weeks of coaching, 2 calls a week, right now for $700. It's the deal of the century. It really is. And again, I understand money's different for different people, but if you're looking to invest in yourself, that's some of the best money you can ever spend. I mean, working with me, again, I'm not trying to sound like I am a humble person, but I'm also, a one of a kind, coach. And I've been doing this professionally for 20 years. It's 25 grand to work with me privately. So to be able to work with me directly for 8 weeks for $700 is the deal of the century. And those of you that don't want to get the whole thing, it's $1,000 for everything. So yeah, Julie, if you want to do that, just shoot me a message and I'll send you the link for that. But great job, Christy. Yeah, I'm going to reach out to you. That's awesome. Well, thank you, Christy. Said you're phenomenal. Thank you. Long term for sure. Yeah. Again, Christy shifted the mindset. And as she said, Christy has been dealing with this for years. I get, I have all sorts of different people that join the program, but one of the more interesting ones are the people that are 5-10 pounds away from their goal weight. And I don't know where your weight loss is at, Christy, but a lot of people that aren't even that far from their goal weight sign up for the program because it's, you've been struggling for years. And even if you're only 5-10 pounds overweight, for some people, again, weight's a relative thing, so it's not just like an absolute thing. So I was like, oh, if you're 200 pounds overweight, you're suffering the most. Oddly, sometimes people that are 5 or 10 pounds are suffering just as much as people that are over. Again, they don't have the health impacts of it necessarily, but the mental impacts are intense. So yeah, learning this system for a lot of those people is really, really valuable. Energy and Space says, I lost 30 pounds last year with PYT, got to goal. I'm having a little trouble maintaining. Advice. Yeah. Okay. Great job. So what I would suggest is Energy and Space. The first thing I'll say, that's a great accomplishment. So what I'm going to suggest to you is shoot me an email, jim@programyourselfthin.com, or message me on the TikTok app. But email is always a little better for me. But what I'll do is I'll give you a week of coaching. So you can get in there so I can talk to you directly because I want to help you be able to kind of master the maintenance piece. And I do actually have some support. I have a support program. I'm just about putting the finishing touches on that I think will help you with the maintenance piece as well. Just reinforce it. That being said, if it worked once, it'll work again for you. Okay. So the key thing about Program Yourself Thin, I will let you know, because Program Yourself Thin, the way to think about Program Yourself Thin, it's kind of like, if you want to play guitar and you take this guitar program for 8 weeks, it's like, yeah, you'll improve for 8 weeks for sure, right? You'll do and you'll get better. But the key thing is to learn things during those 8 weeks that you can implement forever. That's the key thing. And so there are 2 different modes I always think of with Program Yourself. There's kind of the initial mode where you're learning a lot of the stuff. But then there's the mastery mode, which is it just keeps going on. And again, if you play guitar, you can't take an 8-week program and be great at it. You have to bring some of those, the most important learnings out of the 8 weeks, you have to bring into your daily or weekly routine so that they're always there. So that would be the big thing I would suggest is Energy and Space is go back into the program, and I can restart you too. Okay. So it's not a bad idea. The second time, if you go through it again, you will get even better results because this isn't a hype you up program. Yes, the hypnosis sessions a little bit is like that. Like you'll go through it and that'll help you stay on track, but it's the program itself of really getting your blueprints under control, getting your eating blueprints dialed in, because now you get so much wisdom and understanding of how to change your weight. I mean, get to drop 30 pounds is tremendous. And so what we want to do is we want to take what you did to lose the weight, and then we want to optimize what you did to maintain the weight loss. So again, that's my suggestion to you. So to give you advice, that's kind of my generalized advice is start the program again. Okay. Go through it again, get the sessions and go through some of the trainings. And even right now you can hop on the Tuesday classes and then shoot me an email. I'll get you on for a week and I'll talk to you and I'll help really, laser, like get into where the main issue is and I'll help you fix that. All right. Moses says, hi, Jim. Do you agree that being hungry a little after eating is good for losing? Being hungry a little after eating. Yeah, well, I want to separate that because I think a little bit of hunger in general, right? So when you want to lose weight, I think being comfortable with a little bit of hunger is really important. You're going to need to feel a little hungry to lose weight. I think that's very true. A lot hungry, forget it. I think it's going to sabotage you. It's not going to work. A little bit of hungry, good. A lot of bit of hungry, bad. Okay, so that's just in general. Now, when you're eating and you stop and you could eat more and you might feel a little bit hungry, I find that to be interesting because that level of hunger, well, all the hunger in reality, it's a combination of factors, right? So there's the physiological factors of feeling hungry, but there's also the mental, emotional factors of feeling hungry. And so, for example, if you typically eat a bag of chips, let's just say, you always eat the whole bag. And now you say, okay, I'm going to go on a diet and now I'm going to eat half the bag. Well, you're going to eat half the bag and leave the other half and you're going, there is a little bit of hunger because you're not eating as much. That's a little bit of it. But a lot of it's mental because you're used to eating the whole thing. And so you're definition of eating the chips is eating the whole bag. And so to all of a sudden eat half of it, it feels weird. I'll give you an example of what I mean. If you could all do this, right? If I ask you all, are you left or right thumbed? You have no idea. You have no idea if you're left or right thumbed at this point. But if I ask you to, let's clasp your hands together like this. Okay. Really do this. Clasp your hands together. Which thumb's on top? Right. And so for me, it's my right thumb. And whatever thumb's on top, there you go. That's what thumb you are. Now, you never knew that. You don't give a shit which thumb's on top. However, this is what you do. Now, if you take your hands apart and reclasp them together so the other thumb's on top, notice how that feels. Feels weird, right? So when we change our behaviors, especially the eating behaviors, it's not just like a hunger thing that makes it feel weird. Sometimes it's just because we're doing something different. Oh, now all of a sudden we're only eating half the bag. That feels weird because that's not what we normally do. So much of our behavior is driven this way that we have our normal way of being. And when all of a sudden we change it, even if it's a way we change it, you don't give a shit which thumb's on top. You don't care, but one feels right and one feels weird. And so when you start changing your behaviors in terms of weight loss, yes, a little bit of it is hunger because you're not eating as much and your body's, hey, what's going on? But a bit of it as well is the weirdness. Okay. And so this is why I say, we really want to kind of deconstruct things, because a lot of times, especially dieters, have so little awareness of things that if they feel weird, they misinterpret, oh, I'm starving, I'm really hungry, and now I got to fight against that. As we start to break it apart into its components, we kind of see things more accurately. And so that's the long-winded answer to your question. And the short-winded answer would be that I think a little bit of hunger when you're done eating, I think is a good thing. Now, how do you get yourself to want to do that? Because again, we really are going against our biology when we do this. This is why I say program yourself thin. You've got to reprogram your mind because you have this evolved biology that you have, right? The way we're wired is to eat as much food as we can when we get it. That's why we all have eating problems in this culture, because we evolved in a food scarce environment where eating as much as we possibly could whenever we could led to survival. So we're all of us come from ancestors who ate a lot. That was part of how we survived, is when there was food around, we eat as much of it as possible. So there's hormonal, biological, biochemical, neurological systems in our body that drive us to eat as much as we possibly can when there's food in front of us. And that was fine in a food scarce environment. But now we live in a food abundant environment, and that same biology is there. So it is a weird feeling to sit in front of food and say, okay, and to be a little hungry and say, okay, I've had enough. It's weird. We're going against ourselves. Feels like this. It feels weird. So we want to program ourselves on a deeper level. And there's a number of ways to do this. I mean, again, and program yourself thin alone. I mean, just the hypnosis sessions alone, there's like 65 of them over the 8 weeks. But I would say a good 10 or 15 of them are related to this exact thing, because it is a weird thing you're doing to yourself. It's unnatural, you could even say. But this is what we got to do, because we don't no longer live in the natural world where we live on Mars. We live in an alien environment with all of this food. So we've got to reprogram, we've got to update our mindset, how our bodies operate to some degree. I mean, you can't change all of it, obviously, but you can upgrade your mindset, absolutely, to thrive in this environment. And so I do think that training yourself and practicing finishing eating when you're a little hungry, I think is a good thing. How you do that though, again, if I could just tell you a simple way to do it, I would tell you. The only way I know to do it is to have a system in place where you practice it over time, but I do think it's good. Energy and space. I'm focusing on rededicating to the program, relaxing, focusing on the person I want to be. I've had a lot of life changes and stress. Yeah. Okay. Exactly. Energy and space. And that's what happens. And this is a typical thing that happens with weight. Usually when people start a diet, anytime you've gotten success with your weight loss or diets in the past, there's a good chance that usually what's going on is the time you did that, life was kind of working with you, and we can focus all our energy and attention on our eating and our weight and all the rest of it. But then all of a sudden life goes wonky and stress comes. So yeah, I will tell you, energy and space, that that's a common thing. So how do we deal with the stress, and how do we deal with the life changes? We have to update kind of what we've been doing to account for these new things. So again, shoot me a message. If I can work with you, I'll help you very quickly get through some of those things. And in the meantime, I will direct you, if you go to the membership area, you go to the bonus section on the right, go to the weight mastery workshops, and then listen to the maintenance section. Okay. Listen to the maintenance section, re-listen to that one. And specifically re-listen to the section of that that's about dealing with stress, dealing with times of stress. But that whole maintenance section is really important for you. So listen to that this weekend. Okay. That's probably going to give you the most value out of any of the trainings. Okay. Because you've got all this good stuff in your head. Life changes happened. And so now we just need to re-update all the good stuff you're doing to take into account all the life changes and stress that's been going on. So we need to upgrade the strategies you've been using to account for those changes. I hope that makes sense. Christy says, take the plunge, people. Yes, it is a smart one. Jody says, stop being humble. You're amazing. Thank you, Jody. I appreciate that. Yeah. Oh, Jody, you know what I was thinking? I was just going to say this real quick because I don't want to forget this. I was thinking about you last night, Jody. This is what I do, right? I think about my clients all constantly, but I wanted to say this real quick. And I meant to say this while we were talking, but I got off track as I do sometimes. But you were talking yesterday about a lot of times in your head, it's like, I don't want to feel like shit. I don't want to feel like shit. And I was thinking this, that's a good place to start, but not a good place to end. I don't want to feel like shit because I want to feel amazing. Okay. Let's add that on there. Okay. Because especially the situation you're in, to keep saying the mantra, I don't want to feel like shit. Right. What are we going to feel like? So make sure I don't want to feel like shit because I want to feel amazing is fine. And then eventually you may stop the, I don't want to feel like shit piece, just focus. I just want to feel amazing. Just want to remind you that one. Yeah. Christy said I wasted so much money. A lot of people do. I mean, I do get that. I would say one thing I will hear from people pretty regularly, if they say, well, I'm not sure about Program Yourself, then I've already spent so much money on other things. And I get that, which is why I guarantee it, by the way. There's not too many weight loss programs out there that guarantee it. But yeah, my kind of do-it-yourself version, I guarantee. If it doesn't work for you, just give your money back. I don't give a shit, but I know it works for you. I almost never, ever never refund the program because it works. And it works in such a fundamental way. But I do understand people have that fear. I respect that. Jim, there's Jim. Jim, am I addicted to food? I can't even diet for 6 hours. Why? Oh boy. I'm glad you asked that question because I know a lot of people think that. And again, it's that dieter mindset, which is so silly. It's not that you're addicted to food. It's that you're using silly strategies, And Jim yesterday let us know, he goes, hey, geez, I was dieting for 5 hours and then I started binging. I couldn't even make it a day. So what do you do? Nothing extreme. I just track every calorie and just eat healthy food. Well, that doesn't sound extreme, but it is extreme because tracking every calorie is an extreme thing. You're not meant to consciously dictate every food decision you make. It's unnatural. And on top of that, trying to make healthy food choices is a real vague ass explanation of what you're really doing, which is now you're completely, it would be like, okay, let's spend tomorrow really connecting to how you walk. Okay. I'll put it in let me put it in a different frame. It's kind of like if tomorrow you wake up and you say, you know what, tomorrow, from now on tomorrow, I'm going to start brushing my teeth with my other hand. I'm going to start using my computer mouse with my other hand. I think I'm going to use my phone with my other hand. I'm kind of tired of just using one hand. Then you may say, well, that doesn't sound hard. Yeah, but okay, no problem. And then you will go and try it. I would suggest you all try it. Tonight, go brush your teeth with the other hand and see how quickly that changes. So sounds easy, but it's a tremendously different way of living because now all of a sudden things that you've been doing on autopilot, you're having to put energy and focus on. And your brain doesn't want to do that. The main organizing principle of your brain is it's looking to conserve energy. And so your brain is set up to run things on autopilot. What you do from the moment you wake up till the moment you go to bed, you're doing most of the things you do on autopilot. And your eating is one of the biggest things. And so when you all of a sudden say, oh, tomorrow I'm going to use my other hand for all this stuff, you're not going to remember, most likely. But even if you remember, you will do it and you will quickly get frustrated. Brush your teeth with the other hand. Use your computer mouse with the other hand. Put your phone in your other hand. Use your other hand and see how it feels. Notice how you don't have the dexterity. It's not automatic. You have to think about it, and it gets you annoyed fast. Brush your teeth with your hand. You jab your gums. You feel like you're missing teeth. You have to think about it, and you like to zone out when you're brushing. So you just do it on autopilot. You do all of these things on autopilot. And so now we take your food and you're eating. Well, I'm just going to try and make healthier decisions. Okay, well, that's a real simple thing to say and a real hard thing to do because you're not used to it. And so as soon as you take something that's autopilot and make it a conscious behavior, be prepared. And so now you just burn through your willpower, because your willpower and your attention and focus run by the same part of your brain, your prefrontal cortex, and you burn through your energy, burn through your willpower. Now you're hungry. You want to eat some bullshit, and you don't have the ability to make the healthier food choice. So it's not that you're addicted to food. And by the way, we're all addicted to food, but I know what you mean. But and don't get me wrong, there is a food addiction component to it as well. But that is not the main problem. And the addicted to food things, I don't know, for the vast majority of you, it's bullshit. And if you want to, really consider yourself an addict to food, let's look at heroin addicts, cigarette addicts, alcohol addicts. And every year there's millions of them that stop using those substances forever. So even if you were addicted to food, you can still free yourself of it. So no matter what, there's always hope. Okay. But I really doubt that you are a food addict. Again, because that's an outlier condition. That's why. Is it an outlier condition? It's not. There are food addictions, but not to the level you probably think. That's not your main problem. That's what I'm trying to say. Let me put it that way. Energy and space. I regained 10. You know what? Energy and space. That's super. Because here's the thing. So again, I just want to point this out with Program Yourself Thin. Energy and space is saying, I lost 30 pounds last year, and she put 10 pounds on. And she's had huge life changes and stresses going on. And again, I'd love to work with you just to find out what they are, because I'll help you quickly. Putting 10 pounds under, and that's nothing. So again, even that I consider a huge win. And I see this all the time, because Program Yourself Thin's about implementing, it's changing the way you're thinking, and it's coming up with strategies that serve you and work for you. And when you have strategies that are built around you and that are work for you, even when times of stress and life changes and bullshit comes your way, you still stay on the track because you've created strategies that are built for you. And so putting 10 pounds on, putting a third of the weight on over a year during life changes, stresses, and all the rest of it is still a huge win. And that, so I know, because what I know, unlike a diet, where a diet's all or nothing, Program Yourself Thin's an all or something approach. And so that's why Energy and Space hasn't put the 30 pounds right back on, because putting 30 pounds on in a year is easy when you just lost on some crazy diet. So great job, Energy and Space. I'm really proud of you. Putting 10 pounds on is no big deal. That means, because what that means to me, what I know is you still have core strategies you're following. You still have core mindset shifts that are still there. And so, yeah, you rededicate to the program, especially the maintenance piece. You're starting at a higher point now. Do you understand? So, again, you're doing great. And again, life changes and bullshit's going to happen. I put 25 pounds on 12 years ago when life changes and stress came my way. So again, none of us are immune to this. All right. But the thing is, once I kind of re-got things, I quickly got it off. And you can do the exact same things. You've got a solid foundational base. You're in a much better place now than you were last year at this time, at least weight and health wise. And the life changes and stress things, maybe, if you want to talk to me about it, I can help you kind of move through them. But, weight wise and health wise, you're in a much better place than you were last year. So getting back on, not even getting back on track, but optimizing and kind of refocusing and tweaking what you're doing is what you need to do. And it's going to be easier than you ever imagined. Jim says, why is it easier to gain weight than to lose it? In reality, I know you're not all going to believe this, but in reality, it's not that easy to gain weight. I know you don't believe this, but it's kind of not. It is easier. I'm not going to say it's not easier, but it's not as easy as you think it is. We all kind of have like a subconscious thermostat dictating our weight, and we kind of live right around there. Because if you think about it, I know you all internalize like, oh, the weight just comes on and goes on and on and on. But most of you, it's not like you keep gaining more and more and more and more and more weight every year. I mean, maybe a pound, 2 pounds a year, whatever, but you're not putting 10, 20 pounds on every year. So again, our weight reflects our behaviors, and our behaviors are pretty pattern oriented. We basically do and eat the same things in the same ways, the same amounts pretty consistently, which is why our weight typically stays around where it stays. Now, it may be higher than where you want it to be, but there's a good chance that you basically have a similar weight that you've had for a while, so, but it is easier to gain weight than to lose it, because again, your body, we've all evolved to eat as much as we possibly can when there's food around. And now there's constant food around that is also hyper palatable and very addictive, so this whole combination, that's what leads to weight being easier to gain than to lose it. Yeah. Yeah. Christy says once the mindset is changed, the weight falls off automatically. That's why I always try and tell you people. I try and tell you that all the time, that there's no like the counting calories to like, I don't know. It's just, it's like relationships. If you're in school, your grades, your work, like how well you do with that. Anything in your life that's like a big thing like that, the parent you are, the partner you are, it's not like one thing you do. You can't just pick like one thing out of like your relationship with your partner and be like, oh, I'm just going to change this one thing and it fixes everything. You know what I mean? Like it's a culmination of a lot of little things. And your weight is the same way. And in the main culmination, the main thing that's dictating your weight is your mindset. You know what I mean? So you're trying to keep the same mindset and then just change calories. But it's never going to work because your mindset is never changing. If you're a dieter, you've had the same shitty diet mindset the entire time. You've done a million different programs, but the one thing that stayed consistent is your mindset. And your mindset is dictating your weight more than anything else. You know? It's just, I don't know why this is so fucking hard for people to believe. That's the part I will tell you. It gets me. It does get to me sometimes. It does get to me where I don't know why this is such a hard message to deliver to people or have them absorb. I don't understand that. I don't know. I don't know how you think that if you've been struggling with your weight for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, right? And you've tried 10, 20 different diets to do it, and none of them have worked. I don't know how you don't think that the way you think about food, about weight, about yourself, about your lifestyle, I don't know how you don't think that that is not like the main thing that's impacting you. Because you've tried everything else has changed, right? You changed all the diets, you tried all the different exercise equipments, all the different methods. You've tried all these things, but the one thing you've never tried is changing your mindset. Your mindset is the one consistent, it's the one constant in in that scenario. I don't know how you don't think that that's the main thing controlling your weight. I find that so odd. Now, I do understand how you don't really understand what your mindset is. That I understand. But I don't understand how you're not curious enough to click the link in my bio, get the hypnosis session I give you and listen to that, because that I'll just change your mindset for you, okay, in 10 minutes. But then watch the video I made for you, and I'll explain to you how your mindset comes into play. And I'll break it down a little bit. I'll make it real obvious to show you what's going on there. But what are you saying? No, fuck that, Jim. That goofy, airy-fairy stuff. My mindset. Who cares about a mindset? I just need the right diet. You know, we got Jimmy. I'm just gonna get it eventually. What's that eventually mean? What's gonna change? What's the difference between you now and the you on that magical Monday you fantasize about, where you just all of a sudden start following the plan perfectly? Like, what's the difference? I don't know. Like, I just don't get it. This idea that you have this faith. This blind faith that someday you're just going to be able to do it. Why? Why would you be able to? It's so weird. It's like thinking like, well, I don't know how to play the piano, but someday I'll be able to play the piano. Why? Why would you? If nothing new, if you don't do anything different, why would you all of a sudden just be able to play the piano? What? Because time passed? I mean, how much time's passed for you already and you haven't lost the weight? Again, I'm not trying to be obnoxious here or rude or negative. But it just gets to the point where it's like, I don't know how anyone is not looking at their mindset. And you see it every day here. I mean, people in the program constantly just like, oh, it's the mindset, my mindset change, my mindset. There's strategies too. Again, in Program Yourself Thin, I believe there's two things to mastering your weight. There's mindset and strategies. But the mindset's the crucial one. A great job, Christy. That's why I want to talk to you, because I think you got depth of it. What's up, Athena? But Jim, isn't it true that the hungrier the better? That means body is burning more. No, Athena, because I mean, on a technical level, that's true, but in a real level, it's not true. Because what happens when you let's just look at a hunger scale. Let's just say down here, I'm not hungry at all. Up here, I'm absolutely starving. Right here, I'm absolutely stuffed. I just ate 3 pizzas and a pint of ice cream. Oh God, I'm so no hunger at all, 0. And up here, I'm hungry. I haven't eaten. I'm absolutely starving. I'll eat your arm off. I'm ready to chew on wood. I'm starving. Okay. Let's look at those. And so let's go to the starving, absolutely starving. I see food. I can't stop thinking about food. I'm obsessed with it. I want to eat all of it. Okay. Maybe you're burning the most calories there. I'll give you that. But how long are you going to be in that state? What happens for you? What happens to you all when you get into the absolutely starving state? How do y'all eat? Do you eat well? Do you make good food decisions? Or do you binge? So again, we got to look at things in gradients, you know, a little bit of hunger, good. A lot of bit of hunger, good luck. What happens? And again, I don't know how dieters don't fucking realize this. The most annoying thing to me about the dieter is, you know what I hear the most is they'll go, Jim, breakfast and lunch, perfect. Afternoon and dinner and nighttime, oh my God, that's where the problem is. Can you help me stop eating in the afternoon and night? Because breakfast and lunch is going perfect. That is, I got a lockdown perfect. Everything falls apart in the afternoon into the night. I need help there. Can you hypnotize me to not eat in the afternoon? And I say, okay, what are you eating for breakfast and lunch? Nothing. I'm not eating anything. I'm doing great there. No, you're not doing fucking great there, because by the time you get the afternoon, you're starving. Now you can't control anything. It's just like, God damn it. Can you just put a little bit of strategy into your weight loss method? Can we just use a little bit of strategy, a little bit of awareness? Can we just bring a little bit of awareness in that pretty much every human, when they get really hungry and all of a sudden are around a bunch of food, is going to overeat? So maybe a better strategy is to not try and starve yourself breakfast and lunch, but nourish yourself at breakfast and lunch with some really good quality nutrition, so that when the afternoon and lunch and dinner comes around, you feel satisfied, you feel comfortable, you're not starving, you're nourished. Because that makes way better food decisions. But dieters are just so fixated on the short-term results. So of course, yeah, the fastest way to lose the weight is never eat again. I get people like that. What do you think about dry fasting? I think it's fucking silly, because are you just never going to eat again? Is that the plan? That can't be the plan. So you said, we got to think bigger picture, because the only time the hunger the better makes sense is when you just want to, like for Jonathan. I don't know if Jonathan's here. Jonathan's got a weight loss goal, a pretty decent weight loss goal to achieve by October for his wedding. But anyways, I see Lolly says, I'm perimenopausal, started walking 2 to 3 miles per day, 1,500 to 1,700 a day. Haven't lost 1 pound. How do you factor in hormones? Also, I have Hashimoto's. Well, as usual, and I find this odd. A lot of times people never, well, I mean, you could never give me enough details that I'd want, but started walking 2 to 3 miles per day, 1,500 to 700 calories a day. I don't know how long you've been doing that for. That's the first question. So I don't know if you're still here, but let me know how long you've been doing that. That's what I would say first, before I can even answer anything. Tree Dunham says, the starving, been there, done that, doesn't work for me. More power to you if it does. Yeah. I was proud of myself for not eating all the cupcakes yesterday. I even recognized when it didn't taste good anymore and stopped. That's a huge thing to be proud of. That's wonderful. Yeah. To realize that cupcakes don't taste as good as you think. You know, we're all just living this culture where it's tricked. Taste is relative, you know, and things that we eat, cupcakes, for example, oftentimes are so sweet, you know, but it depends on what your sugar levels are. I don't eat a lot of sugar. So when I eat like a cupcake that's super sweet, it's not good to me. Now, back in the day when I used to eat lots of sugar, it tastes great to me. So your taste buds are relative. And that's a huge part. Program yourself in a huge part of managing your eating is calibrating and training your taste buds to support healthier choices. So this is why, I don't know, I'm in a bad mood today. Well, he says also, how do you not have more followers? This stuff feels like the real deal. I don't know. I mean, it just takes time. I will tell you, it is shocking, because this is the real deal. And I mean, I know, you know, in years I'll have millions of followers, and I like right now where I'm at. And Instagram, I just started. That Instagram account is relatively new. I have more followers on TikTok, but yeah, the follower thing is just, you know, you're a slave to the algorithm to some degree. And some things just take more time than you think as well. You know, I will tell you, I mean, weight and money are very similar. I run my own business. All the things I use to manage my weight, I use to manage my business, because the hardest part of both are the emotions of it, you know? It's not knowing what to do. It's getting yourself to do it consistently. And how do you get yourself to do things consistently? Well, you better have some strategy to deal with your thoughts and your emotions, or else screw it, right? Isn't that all your big challenges with the weight? It's not that you don't know what to do. It's that you get into a mode and you say, screw it. Fuck it. It's never going to work. Get impatient, quit. Well, the same thing happens with work. You run your own business, same shit, you know? But Lolly, how, 4 weeks, she said. 4 weeks. Okay, 4 weeks. You've been walking 2 to 3 miles per day. You're eating 15 to 700 calories, haven't lost 1 pound. What I say to you, Lolly, is that you're not going to like this, but I think it's important. Who gives a shit? How do you feel? Do you feel any better? I know you haven't lost any weight, but if there was no scales in the world, would you feel any better? Do you feel proud of yourself for getting yourself to walk? Right? Do you feel a little more energized? Do you feel stronger? Do you feel more flexible? Do you feel, again, just more successful and proud of yourself for doing it? How do you feel cutting the calories down to 15,700? Do you feel lighter? Do you feel more energized? Are there any other positive effects that you've had from making those changes other than the weight? That's the first thing. The second thing is that even a month, who gives a shit? Because we don't know. Weight loss is inconsistent and unpredictable in the short term and very consistent and predictable in the long term. And so I know no one wants to hear this, but I have seen too many people that have actually reduced calories and started walking, and a month later, they haven't lost any weight. It's not that unusual. Does the hormones factor in? Does the Hashimoto's factor in? Probably, potentially, in the short term. And but if you stick with it, where would you be next year? If you actually stuck with this for a year, where would you be? Again, we can't be conditional with our weight loss, especially in the short term. Because I know right now I didn't lose any weight, I'm going to quit. That's why you need to have bigger goals than just what the scale says. But do you feel better about yourself? Are you proud of yourself for doing something different? Are you excited that you made some changes? Because if you made some changes, you can make more changes. Or are you looking at it like, oh, I tried it for a month and it didn't work. Fuck it. Right? That was Athena was saying that. We gave it 2 weeks, I think. But all dieters do that. Again, I mean, what in your life that you've done that's been worthwhile that if you judged in the first month, first 2 months, 3 months, like I was like guitar, when I first started playing guitar, I was like, I take my fingers and put them on the strings in the right spot, blank, and then I do another chord. I'm going to practice this and blank. It sounds like shit, a month later. Oh, wow, I can't believe I still suck at guitar. Yeah, I don't care. I'm in this for the long game. I like learning. I practiced. Wow, this is cool. It's kind of fun. I play a little song, bing, 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 bing. Ah, cool. That's kind of cool. I celebrate the small wins, knowing that if I keep celebrating the small wins and stick with it, I'm going to achieve giant wins. And what area of your life isn't like that? What area of your life can you just like get amazing results in a month? I know that dieting sells you that, but again, it's fake. It never lasts. Things that don't last aren't real to me. Yeah, what's up, 1008 JK? It says, yes, you are correct. 100% correct. Working on the mindset is the key. Do we know this? I know it's kind of a buzzword. People say, oh, you had to change your mindset, you change your lifestyle. And so, well, you don't even know what the fuck that means. What's your mindset? Tell me, what's your mindset? What's your lifestyle? What's a lifestyle mean? And Program Yourself, then we got 8 lifestyle habits that are specifically laid out, and you get strategies for how to implement them. Mindset, there's 6 specific categories that take you through. So you create a mindset blueprint. You show me where else you're going to find a mindset blueprint. You don't even know what a fucking mindset is. It's just a buzzword that means nothing really. It's called a gist meaning. You got a vague general gist idea of like what mindset and lifestyle are, but you don't have a literal specific meaning of them, which is why you can't change them, even if you do value them. So Julie says, why is it that when I'm busy doing something I love, I can forget to stop and eat? Well, Julie, I'm glad you said that, because that's one of the bonus habits is having hobbies, something you actually like doing. Don't feel attacked if I say this, because I'm not trying to attack anyone, but we live in a culture that try to turn us into a boring fucking people where our main source of entertainment is, movies, TV, food. They would love that. Nothing more than that. So in school, we're not taught to have hobbies and things that we're interested in. We're taught to do things and then feel like shit about ourselves because it looks like shit, right? Take an art class. Oh my God. Fucking Susie's over there doing this beautiful picture and I got stick drawing. I feel like shit about myself. I'm never going to draw again. I hate this. The musical class hit the triangle wrong. No, Jimmy, doing it wrong. It's the wrong time. But ding, ting, ting. Oh, shit. I hate music. Fuck music. I never want to do this again. You know, I think we're conditioned to feel bad about anything we want to do. It's fun. But we miss out on some of the best things of life because we live in this amazing reality where we can do all this interesting stuff. You know, so it's like, yeah, I mean, playing guitar, playing basketball, taking my dogs for walks, playing with my kids, reading. These are things I love doing. And so a lot of times, instead of thinking about, like, oh, because I know what it's like to not do anything and be looking, I used to love, I get the TV guide. Remember the TV guide? They still make that thing? But I get the TV guide at the beginning of the week and I look for, oh, I want to watch this, I'm going to watch that, I'm going to watch that, I'm going to eat this, I'm going to eat this. That was like a lot of how I thought. I knew every single night which shows were coming up and what I was going to eat when I watched them. That was my entertainment. That was my excitement. Right now I play guitar at night. I'll read, I'll play some basketball if I get some time. I'll do some yard work. I love doing yard work and I love doing chores. I like doing stuff that makes me feel good on the other side of it. And so I fill my body, my brain up with this stuff. And yeah, it takes the place of the food because it's way more enjoyable than just sitting there. You what, a bag of bullshit, right? A box of bullshit. I don't want to eat that stuff. And I definitely don't want that to be my entertainment. What? Just bullshit on my tongue? Because it's all bullshit. I mean, all these foods that come in bags and boxes. I'm reading this book now. Oh my God. It's just, I think this has put me in a bad mood. I'm reading this book called Swallow This, and it's so good. I take a lot of notes when I read, and this one here, I'm not even taking notes because I think this author, she's a journalist, but I think she's a good writer, and she just writes things in a way where it's just like you got to read it. And it's almost like, it's like poetry. It's listings of like the processes they use, the equipment I don't know. It's very, I find it to be a very powerful book. And it shows you that like the processed food industry, it's not real food. It's all an illusion. And, I got off track here, but anyways, yeah. So I think you're totally right, Julie, that yeah, when we get busy doing something we actually enjoy or love, that is a huge strategy to eat better because a lot of your eating, your worst eating habits are happening when you're fucking bored out of your mind. You know, and I always say that if you struggle with boredom eating, it's probably because you're a boring person. Don't be offended by that. Start becoming a more interesting person. Do more interesting shit. There's tons of benefits you get from doing interesting things. And interesting is relative to you. So it's whatever you're fucking interested in. I know there's some hobbies you want to do that you let go of. Start doing them. You won't believe how much better you feel. And it'll probably impact your weight and your eating too. But yeah, I think you're right on the money, Julie, with that. Yeah. Because we're not as hungry as we think we are. We're not. You know, what's the difference? I mean, are you hungry or are you bored? You know, it's a great question to ask yourself. Are you hungry or bored? If you don't want to eat the healthy thing, then you're probably just bored. Because when you're hungry, healthy food is real good, real appealing. Right? And he said, I've started introducing pleasure days. Is it normal to start looking forward to them? I feel scared that I'm going to lose control, even though I have proved to myself I am all or something. Yes, I look forward to my pleasure days all week long. It's very regular for me to start my clean day on a Monday morning, and I'm already thinking about what I'm going to eat on Saturday night. So it's fine because this all taps into the dopamine in our brain. I'm not going to go into it here. I explained in the program, but I'm not doing that here. It's just, it's a lesson. You know, I don't feel like doing that right now, but understanding dopamine in your brain and how to utilize it and work with it is really helpful because advertisers are constantly using dopamine against you. And you probably don't understand how dopamine works, but I don't feel like explaining it right now. Nero says this is so true. First 2 to 3 weeks of the program, weight results didn't show that much. Other benefits were so huge and precious that weight didn't bother me one bit. Week three, I started visibly melting. Let's take a picture of that. Nero, thank you for. That's awesome. I told you, I'm getting better at. I'm making it a point to track all the testimonials more because I really like a stupid ass. I'm not letting you all know normal ass people just like you are getting incredible results, you know? But yeah, Nuri, you're totally right. Again, 2-3 weeks. Oh, I haven't lost any weight. This isn't working. Oh my God. Do you know what I mean? Like, again, I just the college thing, right? You go to college for accounting. You're like, oh, 2-3 weeks into your freshman year, I don't know how to do accounting yet. This isn't working. This isn't working. You go into anything with that mindset, you're not going to do anything. It's a shitty mindset. It's the worst mindset you could have to accomplish something. And yet that's the mindset every single dieter has, because the diets don't want you to lose weight. The diets are all owned by the big food companies. Weight Watchers was owned by Heinz. Jenny Craig was owned by Nestle. Atkins Food Products is owned by the same company owns Cinnabon and Auntie Anne's Pretzels. Slim Fast owned by the same company owns Ben and Jerry's. Do you really think that they want you to not eat their foods? Do you really think they want you to really get control of your weight and start eating healthy and lose weight and not eat their food? That makes no sense. So everything you think about weight loss is through this diet prism, and the diets are all the food companies just filling your brain with mashed potatoes. That doesn't make any sense. It makes no fucking sense. And I love the people that want to argue me that diets are great, because how can they be great? Yeah, maybe they work when you're following it, but no one sticks with the diets. 85 to 95% of people fail to keep the weight off with diets. How can that be great? How can that be considered working? You know? So yeah, so your impatience and your short-term mindset and you measuring your success in 1 week periods is, yeah, that's a shitty mindset. And you're probably never going to succeed that way. What in your life that you measure? You want to play piano? Oh, let's see how you do this week. Oh, you're starting to, let's see how good you get this month. Let's see what the results are in a month. I'll let you know if it's working. You know, you want to learn to dance. Check you out a month later. You suck. You still suck. Oh, I thought you've been taking dance lessons. Nope, you got to quit them. You suck at it. You know, but that's what you're doing yourself with the weight. You just can't wait to prove to yourself it's not working. You know, is that not a habit? Even Lolly, is this the first time, you've done something for a month and you didn't lose any weight? Because by the way, people lose weight at different rates. I know this is the fact that you may not know this is just goddamn gobsmacking. Listen, if you go and look at literally any weight loss study where they put people in a metabolic lab, they put a group of people in a metabolic lab for weeks or months. What you will notice in every single study is that, and this is a metabolic labs where they're accounting for every calorie in, every calorie out, same for each person. Okay. And what you notice at the end of the study is that people have lost different amounts of weight. You can't think of your weight loss like a bank account, like credits and debits. It's not like that. It's like the stock market with lots of different, pieces of the puzzle all interfacing and interacting and influencing each other. And so, again, so specific, they're tracking every calorie in and out, and you get one person who loses this much weight. One person loses this much weight. Guess what? People lose weight at different rates and speeds. So yeah, compare yourself to your friend who lost 20 pounds last month and then feel like shit and quit and never lose the weight because of that. What a shitty mindset. You could just like destroy yourself from anything you do in your life with that shitty mindset. You'll never do fucking anything because you'll feel so discouraged and frustrated that you'll just quit. So why keep doing that? That's what I don't understand. You won't let go. You're literally trapped in a diet prison. You're in a mental prison put there by the diet industry. And the funny thing is they didn't lock the door. The door's fucking just swinging wide open. Just walk out. Stop thinking like a fucking dieter. You're never going to lose the weight as a dieter. I'm not going to say never because you might be one of those 5%, but I doubt it. I doubt it. And so again, anyways. Jim says, my right thumb is also on top. More proof we're related. Jim and I are long lost brothers, I think. It's true. But not if you keep dieting, Jim. Then we will not be brothers. Just kidding. Athena says, when I'm hungry, I get more results, but the binging ruins it all. Do you see what I mean? Dieters, they'll see nothing wrong with that. Dieters like, yeah, when I binge, or when I starve myself, I get better results. But then the binging ruins it all. So then that's not good results. See, you can't. It's like time frames are really interesting, right? Because it's like you could take anything in a time frame is going to dictate the context in which you see it in. Okay. So you say, I mean, the diets are like, I'll just stick with the diets. I can't think of a metaphor quick enough here, but let's just say, I lost, let's go the most extreme thing you could do to lose weight, which would be to completely stop. I can't say it out loud because the little TikTok will restrict me, but imagine for a month, you say, you know what? I'm not going to put anything in here. I'm not going to eat anything, and I'll just drink the littlest amount of water. The most extreme thing we can think of. Okay. And you say, the end of the month, you're down 30 pounds, well, a pound a day. And you say, oh my God, holy shit, this is amazing. This is the greatest plan in the world. I lost 30 pounds. This is so fast. This is amazing. Okay. Yeah. If we look at that time frame, oh, amazing. That's the best. Okay. And that's a dieter mindset, right? Holy shit, I lost 30 pounds. This is crazy. But me, I'm a weight masterer. So I say, okay, what happened the next 30 days? What happened there? Because which is it? Well, let me take that into account. I'll put the 30 pounds back on. Okay. So was that fast weight loss or was that no weight loss? Did it work amazingly well or did it not work at all? It depends on how you want to look at it. Which time frame are you going to use? Are you going to shrink it down so we're all, oh my God, it was amazing. I got a 30-pound plan. I lose a pound a day. It's amazing. It's incredible. Yeah, for 30 days. And then you put the weight right back on. So I don't know how many more times, I don't know how many more ways I can explain this. But so I don't know how dieters are going to say, oh, I'll get all the results. I got amazing results. Okay. Yeah. If you don't take this into account, it's like a credit card. It's like, oh my God, I just went and bought all this stuff. It's amazing. This is so great. I just bought everything I always wanted. Yeah, that's great for the 30 days until you get the bill. You got to pay it. So again, this short-term thinking is what the diet industry has done to you. More than anything else is the diet industry has conditioned you to think about your weight loss in a very, very short term. And psychologically, you think of it as if you're running a race. But not just any race, a sprint. You think of your weight loss like a sprint. And if you think about a sprint as a race, the only way to win it is to be absolutely perfect. You're running a sprint against other people and you trip a little bit, you lost. The only thing that wins a sprint is absolute perfection. And that's how you internalize dieting and weight loss. You think of a very short term and you believe in your head you have to be absolutely perfect. So that anytime there's a little mistake, it's catastrophic to you, completely blows you off the path. So I prefer to look at your weight on a forever scale, right? Because my question is, how long you want to keep the weight off for? Or you just one of these people that just loves dropping a bunch of weight and then putting it back on so you can do it again. Maybe you just love losing weight so much. You just want to do it as many times as you can. You love it. I'm not like that. I'd prefer to lose the weight one time and then stay at my goal weight forever. That's what I want to do. Okay. So I'm looking at weight as a never ending marathon. It's forever. So how do I get to my goal weight? And so now who gives a fuck? Who cares if it takes you a year to lose the weight, 2 years to lose the weight, 3 years to lose weight? Who gives a shit? The weight loss is just a phase. It's just a phase. And then you got the rest of your life to live at the goal weight. So I got Hashimoto's, I got menopause, I got PCOS, I got insulin resistance, and my weight loss is slower than my neighbors. Yeah, tough shit. I feel bad for you. It's not fair. It sucks. And what are you going to do? You lose weight slower than your neighbors. So what are you going to do? Quit because they lose weight quicker? That's fine if that's what you want to do, but recognize that's what you're doing. So, anyways. Yeah, Guido says, I'm happy I'm here now when the number of followers isn't too much yet. Yeah, me too. This is like the sweet spot for me, to be honest. And to be honest, even my coaching program, I had to shut it down for a little bit because even that one was just getting right close. I tell you this, I was, someone was telling me, they're like, you haven't been talking about the coaching much, and that's part of the reason why. But, I say this, that the coaching, if you're really serious, if you want to invest on a high level, $1,000 to work with me for 8 weeks directly is one of the best deals you will ever have in your entire life, because there ain't too many of me. But anyways, yeah. Is it correct to ignore my hunger in the morning to save my calories for later? What I tell you, I didn't see that question before. I just went on my whole rant, but listen, typically for the average human being, your willpower is at its highest point when you wake up in the morning and your hunger is at its lowest point. And so this is why dieters say, oh, fuck breakfast. I can skip breakfast. I'm not that hungry and I got lots of willpower. Fuck breakfast. Oh, here comes lunch. I'm kind of hungry, but you know what? Fuck lunch too. And now we get to 2:00 in the afternoon. Now your hunger is up here and your willpower is down here. And how's that going? So again, it's short-term thinking. So we need to look at things holistically. There's no amount of willpower in the world that's going to cause you to not eat when you're starving. And you don't have any willpower anyways. You don't even understand willpower most likely. Imagine that. Imagine being a fucking dieter and you got one tool and one tool only, which is willpower, and you don't even understand willpower. This is what I'm trying to say. The diet industry has sold you right down the river. You're way too smart to be a fucking dieter, is all I can say. You've got to be smarter than this. You are smarter than this. You're in a trance when it comes to weight, though. You're in a dieting trance. You don't realize it. But imagine being a dieter and you got one tool and one tool only, which is willpower, and you don't even understand willpower. That's a bad place to be. Well, I'll give you a little mini course on willpower. Willpower is your prefrontal cortex, okay? It's the newest part of your brain, evolutionarily, and it's the most energy intensive part of your brain. It's the part of your brain that's the logical, rational part of you that can understand why you should lose weight, what you should do to lose weight. And it's also where your willpower is. It's the part of you that tries to get you to do the things that'll make you that happen. But your willpower is like a muscle in the sense that it gets depleted all day long, and it gets depleted faster the more you use it. So when you go on a diet and now all of a sudden you're making all your food decisions consciously and doing everything differently, how do you think you're doing that? You're not relying on your automated brain, your automated behaviors. You're making intentional, conscious decisions. Think about it this way. It's like if I give you a bunch of math problems or logic problems to do, I will burn through your prefrontal cortex. Okay. They've done studies on this. They give people math problems or logic problems, and then they notice their willpower is way depleted. So yeah, cut the food off. And by the way, so what powers this part of your brain? It's glucose, food, energy. And so you do the double whammy where you use up all your willpower trying to make conscious food choices. And then simultaneously you're restricting calories and you're restricting the fuel to that part of your brain. By 2 o'clock, you're a hungry zombie who can't stop themselves from eating. So yeah, I wouldn't say that's correct. I don't think it's correct to ignore your hunger in the morning and save my calories for later, because you're never going to believe this. I think of my calories on a daily sense, not moment to moment. I think of my calories on a weekly sense. How many calories I'm consuming over the week? So some days I consume a little more, some days I consume a little less, but I think about it on a weekly level. Then I think about it on a monthly level. And then I think about it on a yearly level. Blow your mind a little. Yeah, Lolly says, yes, I feel better and proud. Thanks for saying that. Yeah, so you lean into those feelings. You know what I mean? And you, again, Lolly, I don't know if you're in my world here, but please, if you're not, go to my bio, click the link, get the hypnosis session. It'll calm you down. It'll put some good stuff in your head, and watch the video. The video is the most important thing I can give to you people. It's free, by the way. It's all free. But watch that video. It'll give you much more context to do it. Yeah, it's a lifelong journey with no end. Yeah, and great insights. That's right. Yeah, it's a never-ending path of excitement. Kathy says, getting back to the wine as opposed to food, don't you think this is similar? I think wine, I mean, now listen, yeah, I keep going back to what you said, awareness. Yeah, awareness precedes all change. I truly believe that, real change. But I think that, yeah, now I can't speak for everyone. Some people, people react to alcohol differently. So I can't speak for everyone. I can speak as a binge drinker who was out of control for a while. And I got a handle on it, using these exact same techniques. So I can only speak for myself. User 847, you're an amazing man. Have a terrific day. Well, thank you. That's a very nice thing to hear. You have an amazing day too. Jim says, I know, but Jim, don't you also do the same? Not the calorie counting, but eating healthy? I don't think that it's that crazy. Well, I think it's crazy, Jim, because I think we're not doing the same thing at all, by the way, just so you know. I'm 30 years into this. So yeah, I absolutely eat healthy, but I've gotten good at it. I played guitar for 30 years. You know what I mean? I'm not great at it, but it's like I'm a lot better than someone who's been playing for a year. I don't give a shit if it's the most natural musician on the planet. I'm going to be better than they are. Don't care. Oh, but they practice 10 hours a week, every week. I don't give a shit. They're still not going to be as good as me. Yeah, and I'm not even that good, But yeah, I've been eating healthy and working on this stuff for 30 years. So I've automated the way I think, the way I behave. It's gone into automated behavior. You, Jim, are trying to change everything all at once. And that's why you can get about 6 hours in and then you binge. So if you don't think that's crazy, then how are you explaining that you're binging? How are you going to explain that you can't get through a day eating well? And so you're way too confident and to be honest, this is all dieters. This isn't just you, Jim. I'm glad you say the quiet parts out loud. But you dieters are way too confident in your plan, considering the results you get and the fact that you don't follow the plan or do it. Yeah, Julia, she's classically trained on the piano. Yeah, Julie, that's actually really good. I do that. I actually literally have a client, a private client who is a trained pianist, and I regularly am using her piano. I do that all the time. When I do get to work directly with people, I'm able to find things in their lives that they're been successful at, and I can use that to explain a lot of the concepts in a very specific way to them. So, but yeah, the piano, yeah, you're very lucky with that, Julie, because you're classically trained. A lot of the skills you used and the mindset you used to get classically trained, you can use exactly right here, you know? So it is helpful to have that background, and everyone has background that's helpful, by the way, you know, it's just utilizing it. Jim says, I managed to quit smoking quite easily compared to junk food. Also, have you ever seen the show, My 600-Pound Life? Do you think they have food addiction, or is it the same thing for all of us? Well, 600-pound life. Listen, when you get to 600 pounds in morbid obesity, there's just more psychologically going on. And I think that, is it food addiction? I just think food addiction, well, to be honest, I think, and maybe I'm wrong here because I'm not an addiction specialist. So I just want to make that crystal clear. I'm obsessed with addiction, though, and especially like substance abuse. I'm fascinated by people that are addicted to substances and become sober. I'm absolutely fascinated by those people. Now, I'm a neurolinguistic programming trainer, so I'm fascinated by role modeling. People that are able to be one way and then are able to be a different way. I'm obsessed with that. Because again, we look at someone, addiction, and it doesn't matter. So let's just say substance addiction. You get the idea that it's a disease, right? That's the message you're always getting. And I'm not saying it's not a disease. I'm not an expert, so I can't speak to that. But a disease, if it is a disease, it's the only disease you can decide not to have. And I know I'm simplifying. I get there's more to it. I understand that. But at the end of the day, the fact remains that there are people with the disease and they got bad genetics, their brain's broken, whatever, all the things we say, this is what leads to the addiction. This is why it's a disease. But there's a percentage of those people that end up becoming sober and not using those substances anymore. So with their broken brains, their bad genetics, their environmental factors, their history, all of those things that made them drug addicts or substance abusers, those same things are there, but now they're not substance abusing. And I'm obsessed with that because that to me opens the door that you're capable of more profound changes than you ever imagine. And so if they can do that with substances, we can do that with food. And even when it goes to studying addicts, which I've studied addicts a lot, I don't think it's just a substance thing. I do. That's a huge part of it, clearly. But there's also a lot of psychology there. Because how does someone go, same person, how do they go from being a addict to being not an addict? Or maybe they're still an addict, but they're not, however you want to frame it, they're sober or they're no longer using the substance. How do they do that? What's the difference? We can say, well, they behave differently. Okay, clear. But what led to the behavior change? How could it not be the mindset? Something changed in the way they think. What else is it? So, yeah. So I think my 600-pound life, I think, yeah, you could say they're food addicts. I think that's true on one level, but I think that food addict is a very vague term. Doesn't have a lot of meaning to it. There's a lot more subtle, granular details under the surface that I want to understand that I think lead to any potential of getting to the other side of it. If that makes sense. Yeah, Christy sums it up better than I can. So change your mind, change your life. Thank you. Just keep it simple. Your program is phenomenal. Your program is the key. Thank you. Christy says, yes, I listened to your free one for 2 months and then took the plunge and currently at my goal weight. Oh, there you go. Let's get a screenshot of both of those because that's awesome. Yeah, we're definitely gonna hook up Christy because I would love to. I'd love to talk about that. And again, I that's why I do the podcast as well. I may do the podcast for free, and I will always do it for free forever because this is a mission for me. So I don't care if you ever get the program or not. I want to help you, and I will help you. I've helped plenty of people just through the podcast, and I will continue to in my free videos and all that stuff. This is my mission. But again, I do think So people say, well, why don't you just give everything away for free? I have done that before. I have literally given my program away for free. But what I've noticed, because I can see if people are using it, is that the people get for free very rarely use it. And I think, at least in America anyways, we value what we invest in. And so, again, it's 25 grand to work with me privately. So it's like, you have to understand money's a relative thing. So when I made it $300, you get the entire program, it felt like, geez, that's really low, but I get it. I understand financial realities, but I think that what I've noticed, and I've been doing this professionally for 20 years, is that if you're not willing to invest $300 in yourself, and again, I understand this financial realities. I know some people can't, so I'm not speaking to you, but if you could invest $300, but you're not going to, then I don't know how committed you are. You know what I mean? Like, so again, I give you everything for free anyways, in the podcast. I'm saying all the stuff to you. It's just not a system, because I don't think you'd go through the system anyways. You wouldn't. If everyone if I could just give the program away for free and people to literally go through it and really use it, I would just do it, because I just do private coaching. But I just haven't seen that happen. People pay for what they value. How much is your phone that you're watching this on? How much did you pay for the phone that you're watching me on right now? How much will you pay for your next phone that you watch me on that's a little bit better? So it's like, we pay for what we value. We invest in what we value. And I find this is a whole topic too. I think that in this culture, we're taught to minimize the value of our health. I see people spend way more on health insurance than they do on their health. It's just, it's part of the whole process. Because you know how much money's made off you being overweight, unhealthy, and unhappy? I'm working on my first book first, which is a short one, but the second book is The Obesity Conspiracy. And it's the food companies, the diet companies, and the medical establishment. And they all make just shit tons of money off of you being overweight, unhealthy, and unhappy. And so there's so many interests, corporate interests, money and power being aimed directly at you for you to minimize your health, which is why when you think about weight loss, your main motivator is you want to look better. And they do that because they're completely throwing you off. The main motivator ought to be that what you're putting in your mouth is probably going to be the number one thing that affects how long you live. And if not that, it's almost guaranteed to be the number one thing that impacts the quality of your life, your day-to-day reality, your relationships, the work you do, the adventures you go on, the experiences you have in your life. All of these things directly come down to what you put in your mouth day after day, but you don't think of it that way, and again, we're taught to undervalue our health and minimize it. Whereas like getting a $30 gym membership, you know what I mean? Like that seems like a big investment, but then again, look, how much do you pay for your fucking streaming services? How much do you pay for your snacks? What are they called? Snackflation. I wouldn't even know. I don't really eat snacks, but my kids do. I cannot believe it. I was like, I don't find you this bullshit. I'm just paying $10 for 2 bags of chips. What the fuck? I don't know how, you know what I mean? Like, so again, we invest what we value in. How much are you paying for snacks each week? What are you paying for fast food each week? I'd love to know. Tell me how expensive organic food is, and let me know what you're paying for bags of bullshit, boxes of bullshit. So again, there's that level of it too. And, things that we invest in, I've invested over 100 grand into myself over the last 30 years. And it just always is true that the more I invest, the more I show up, so that is a reality. You ought to be not overly hungry. Yes. So Kathy says you ought to be comfortable, not overly hungry, not overly hungry, a little hungry. A little hungry is good though, by the way, just so we know, I like living as a slightly hungry person, not just like hunger, physical food wise, but just in life. I like having a little edge to myself. I like having a little hunger. That's where the energy is, folks. You think the energy is in when you stuff yourself silly? Do you feel energized then? Because do you know digestion is one of the biggest uses of energy in your body? You see, like, you don't think about the food as like alcohol and you're living in a perpetual hangover. You don't think of it that way because you completely lost sight of it. You've normalized feeling like shit. You feel like shit, by the way. Never mind how you look. I don't give a fuck how you look. I care about how you feel. And I know you feel like shit. You're pumping this bullshit into your body day after day. physically, it has a huge impact on you. It's zapping you. It's zapping you. Most of your physical energy is going to, I mean, you got to run the main processes, but right after that is the digestion question and how much bullshit you're putting in your body. It's too much. It's not natural, and it's draining all your energy. So there's the first thing. You're tired. Do you feel lethargic? Do you feel tired? Do you think eating this bullshit all the time might have something to do with it? Then on top of that, it's how that you're probably overweight and undernourished. Your body probably is not getting the nutrients it needs to thrive. Are you nourishing your body with high quality nutrition and nutrients regularly? Or do you hate vegetables? You know? And so you're sitting here, you know, like, it's like next time you look at some gas, water it down. Put a third extra water in there and put it in your car. So you wouldn't do that for $1 million. Your stomach churns when you think about doing that. But you pump the shit into your body and you just love it. You don't have you have no negative reaction to the stuff you're putting in your body, you know? And that's all hypnosis. That's all your subconscious programming. You think these foods are so great. Well, I got a secret for you. They're not. They're not at all. They're like the cigarettes. They're poisoning you and you don't even realize it, you know? So you feel like shit. Does your back feel good? Your knees feel good? Your hips feel good? Are you energized? Do you got good mobility? Do you got good flexibility? Do you feel strong? Do you feel like you can balance? You can move? Your stamina? How's all those things? How are they? Never mind how you look in a picture. You know, how do you think what's going on the inside? What do you think's going on? So again, I mean, it's just a little dibble dabbling of real motivation does not come from wanting to look better for most people. It comes from wanting to feel better and be better. And it's hard to be a better version of yourself when you're pumping all the bullshit into your body every day, all day, you know, and when you're carrying all the extra weight around, you know, so just there's that piece too, all the extra weight. I always say like a great strategy to really get yourself motivated on a higher level is to, next time you're at the supermarket or a pet food store is, well, I don't know whatever extra weight you're carrying around, go pick up a 30, 50 pound bag of dog food and just hold in your arms for a few minutes. And then internalize what it's like to carry all that around all day, every day, constantly. And then wonder why you might be feeling kind of tired all the time. You know? Zoe said, I start and have 2 weeks eating better, trying to structure my eating, then a meal out throws me off track completely. I end up binging again. Yeah, Zoe, that's the classic dieter move, right? All or nothing, all or nothing. I'm all perfect for 2 weeks, tracked every single thing, ate everything perfect, and then I completely binged and I threw everything off. You know, that's why in Program Yourself Thin, we're all or something. The most important skill of mastering your weight is the ability to get back on track quickly. And dieters are terrible at that. And in Program Yourself Thin, the redo rehearsal technique I teach you, that's literally, that redo technique is the secret to messing up and getting back on track quickly. You're not going to be perfect with anything. What's up, Jonathan? I'm so shocked by how easy it is not to follow a diet. I've never been successful on diets, but I guess it's because of being motivated for real. Yeah, again, Jonathan, we can always do amazing things when we're truly motivated, you know? Jim says, wait, what? 100,000 is supposed to be little? Who asked that question? No, Jim, they're on Instagram. And I think Instagram, I got like 20,000 or something. So, but even 20,000 is a lot of people, right? Thea says, I wish I was one of those people who forgot to eat. Thea says, literally I'm the opposite. I forgot that I have eaten already, need even more. I had a similar thing to Moses recently. I found out my store-bought smoothies are 60 grams of sugar, was having that for breakfast and still hungry after. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Athena, I can't stress this enough. And I'm going to say, this is the people I know that are here, Athena, Moses, Jonathan, maybe Jim, I don't know. But the biggest challenges you all have is that you don't see things accurately. And this is the same for most of you. I just don't know you specifically. But I know, like for Athena, the biggest thing for you, Athena, is the things you think you're doing right are completely wrong. And Jonathan was like that when he first got here. And so that's why I say awareness precedes change. A lot of you dieters mistakenly think that you know everything correctly and you just need to follow the plan, when in reality, you have no idea what you're doing and what's what. Blas says, hi, Jim. So glad I caught you live. I've been enjoying your podcast every day on my drive to work. Oh, thanks for listening. I appreciate that. That's what I'm here for. So yeah, keep listening. It'll help you out. Yeah, Athena says one of my hobbies is eating. I won't even lie. There you go, Athena. I like Athena. What I like about you is you're becoming more and more honest each and every day you get on here, which is this is the pattern, folks. I've done almost 6,000 private weight loss sessions in my life. Think about that. Think about how many people you know, and think about how many of them have done 6,000 private weight loss sessions. I talk about this shit all day, every day. This is what I do. I'm the Michael Jordan of weight mastery. So anyways, one thing I can tell you is people start kind of, they trickle truth it. They kind of tell me their story and, oh man, I'm doing everything right. And I'm not losing a pound. That's almost, I've never seen that be the case. I'm not saying it's impossible because I don't know, but it's like, I personally have never worked with someone who, when they've started making the changes and things, has not lost weight. I've never seen it. And I've worked with people with Hashimoto's, PCOS, insulin resistance, every physical issue you can think of, and they've all lost weight. So it's usually that we're lying to ourselves more often than not. Yeah, Mar says, I love yard work. I love yard work. I love doing like chores and little projects. I love it. It makes me feel so happy inside. Moses, love Jim roasting us. We're boring people. It's true for so many of us, though. I think no hobbies and lots of free time sabotages us. Yeah, of course, right? Moses says, also, Jim, aren't you a little deprived thinking about the food you will eat at the end of the week? I don't feel deprived. I mean, I think of it, I talk about clean and pleasure days, but I also think of them as fuel and fun days, And so it's like, I mean, it's like work, right? I mean, you ever go to work like on a Monday and it's like you're already thinking about the weekend? I mean, do you feel deprived? You're like, oh yeah, I'd like to just have every day be the weekend. Well, yeah, sure. Obviously there's a piece of it that's like that. But when you zoom out, look at the big picture, we got to work. And then everything's kind of related. Everything kind of works together. And so for me, would I love to just eat bullshit all day long every day? I mean, I wouldn't even like to anymore, but I can't do that if I want to get the results that I really want and demand for myself, So it doesn't feel deprived. It feels like it feels the opposite of deprived. It feels very fulfilling that, yeah, okay, well, I'm not eating the bullshit today, but I'm at the weight that I want to be. I feel the way I want to feel. I feel really good. I'm back on track. I'm nourishing myself. And then as soon as I have my first food and as soon as I have my first salad, I'm right back in there anyways, So he says, when I'm in binge mode, I close myself off to everything else, internet, the hobbies, and I can't get back. Yeah, again, yeah, Zoe. But Zoe, it's because you're an all or nothing person. That's the core of your problem. Is the core of pretty much any dieter's problem is you have this all or nothing mindset with everything. And that's a huge problem. Let's see. Gotta get plastic. Blas says, you've helped me reach my goal and maintain for over a year now. Thank you. Wow, Blas, that's awesome. Well, there you go. Let's get a screenshot of that. Let's get one with me smiling. It's not a very nice phrase for women, but the resting bee phase, I'm going to say, it's not right. But I was like, I got resting like grumpy face. If I'm not smiling, I get these deep lines in my head. It's so funny. Actually, I'm going to ask you all a question because I'm curious to get your opinion. I meant to ask this. But I actually and I think about, I'm a yoga instructor too, but I was going to make a chair yoga. I was going to start doing chair yoga videos. And it'd be cool because those of you that watch me at a desk, you could do it there. And if you're just watching on the phone, you could do it, And I actually made a video, and I was like, I'm making the video, and I'm like relaxing and stuff, and I'm genuinely relaxed. I'm relaxed on the inside. Everything's relaxed, but this thing here, it's like I'm like, and it's like my face is always looking angry, but I'm not. But yeah, so it's like sometimes I take pictures and I have to really smile, or my face is like that thing. See it? And people mistake that as like I'm grumpy, but I'm not grumpy. It's just what my face does. So anyways, but would you all like a chair yogas? Would anyone even like that? I don't know. I'm going to make some anyways and just see what people think. Jim says, what can I do instead of those diets? I want to eat better. What could be a realistic goal? Please, bro. Okay. Well, here's what I would suggest. And again, you probably won't like it because it's a little bit of a slower thing, but it's built for strategy. First thing I say, at the very least, the first thing I think you focus on is you focus on your worst eating habit. The first thing is identifying what's your worst eating habit that you have. Might be snacking at night, overeating at dinner, snacking in the afternoon, eating dessert after lunch. It depends, right? It's different for each person. But your number one worst eating habit that shows up daily or multiple times a week. That's the first thing I want to focus on. And I want to get a handle on that. Because again, I'm thinking long term. And so if you can transform that habit a bit and make it better, all the way to eliminating it, you're going to change your weight. Okay. So that's what I want to do is I want to strategically focus on the worst eating habit you have. And so the first part, you got to identify it and then go to work on strategically fixing it. And the way you strategically fix it is you pay attention to it. What triggers it? What's going on here? What are my alternatives? What are my options? What do I want to do? And you start working on fixing it. Then simultaneously, if you're really motivated simultaneously, is you can start optimizing your eating by focusing on the first meal of the day. Okay. So whatever your first meal of the day is, whether it's breakfast or lunchtime, whatever your first meal of the day is, make it as healthy, as nourishing, as satiating as possible. And that's good enough to start with. And then you take it from there. Athena says, I'm so embarrassed now. I realize how I sound. Don't be embarrassed. Please, 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 Athena. Some of the most interesting stuff on here is when people say embarrassing things. And even it's funny because I got 2 group coaching programs. One is my program yourself, then one. And then I have a Thrive group coaching, which is for people that continue coaching with me. And these are people that are really committed. And that's one of my favorite groups because like we all kind of know each other, we've gotten to know each other and people get very personal in there. And it was amazing. But yesterday we really got into some real personal stuff, which is amazing. But the point what I was making is that sometimes we feel embarrassed of things. And certainly with the work we're doing here, a lot of times it's the embarrassing things that we don't want to say that kind of hold us down. And the more we can kind of just let those things out, the quicker we can resolve them and move past them. The brain gives a pain for learning. And so, yeah, it may feel embarrassing, but when you get it out and all of a sudden you find a better solution or strategy to deal with it, you quickly kind of like, oh, it gives a shit. We fixed it. So do not feel embarrassed at all, Athena. You're not saying anything unusual at all. It's hard to stop chasing fast results. It is hard to stop chasing fast results, but I'll reframe that for you. What are fast results? Is fast results losing 30 pounds in a month and then putting it back on the next month? Is that fast results or no results? And compare that to losing 3 pounds a month. Is that slow results or is that fast results if you lose 3 pounds a month all the way to your goal weight and then you did it in a way that was sustainable that you maintain for the rest of your life? Which one's fast and which one's slow? How we define that is going to have a huge impact on what you experience. Someone says, how much time does it take for women who's at a normal weight to lose 12 to 15 kilograms? I don't know. It depends what you do. You know what I mean? I hate that question though. I'll be honest. I know where you're coming. I get it, but it's like, I hate that question so much because again, that's that diet mindset where the only thing that matters is getting to the goal weight. And for me, I don't give a shit how long it takes to the goal weight. I care about how long you'll be able to live there for. And so I'm way more focused on how long you'll be able to live at that goal weight than how long it takes to get there. So that's really not a question I could answer. Bramley Apple says, do your family and friends come to you for advice? No. I don't offer my advice. You know what they say, the worst vice is advice. So yeah, the best part of doing this job professionally is I really have very little desire or motivation to want to, the first 10 years before I did this professionally, I always want to talk to everyone about it. Right. And then I started doing professionally. I kind of got that out of my system. So when I'm in my personal life, I don't really need to talk about it as much. So yeah. Now that being said, I will say that, doing the podcast has been a nice way because it allows me to I know some people will watch my stuff without directly talking to me, and that's that works well. So I've helped them in that way, in a roundabout way. Someone's saying, is anyone here who wants to lose weight like together? Claudia says, listening to you while eating an ice cream. That's fine though. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with eating an ice cream. Okay. If you want to lose weight and you're eating an ice cream, even still, you can utilize that. So again, just pay attention, enjoy the ice cream, enjoy it. And then when you're done eating the ice cream, pay attention what the consequences are physically, mentally, and emotionally, and that'll set you right on the right path. Athena said, I told myself I'll go on my dream vacation once I lose weight, but that didn't help. No, that wouldn't help. Marcy says, shoot, that's my problem. I've been doing too much math. Yeah, well, and that's the thing too. That's why, back to that point, that's why relaxation and calming yourself down are so important, because what they do is relaxing and calming down charge your brain back up so that you naturally see things more accurately, make better decisions. Blas says reading highly processed people at the moment is mind blowing. Yeah, easily makes me not want to eat shit food. Yeah, exactly, Blas. I agreed, 1,000%. I'm reading another book, Swallow This. I'm always reading these books. That's why I try and tell you all. I know dieters never believe me, but I don't eat well because of the willpower. I don't have a lot of willpower. I eat well because of my mindset. And my mindset is the way it is because I've read and learned so many things about food. The mindset does the heavy lifting. And for those of you to understand what I'm saying, you're probably a non-smoker, and you're a non-smoker not because you're fighting off cravings all day long with your willpower. You're a non-smoker because the way you think about cigarettes, you don't have cravings. You think they're gross or you think they're disgusting, so you don't have cravings for them. That's the mindset difference. It's the easier way to lose weight and the longer lasting one. Marcy says 600-pound life is almost always a toxic family system and childhood trauma. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's exactly what I was kind of alluding to, that because I used to be obsessed with intervention, 600-pound life, these outlier extreme addiction stories, almost always there's some trauma going on, almost always, and or there's some psychological issue. And so that's why I say, like, addiction, I think a lot of people misuse that and almost use it as, oh, I'm addicted to food. Well, what is, you know what I mean? Like that doesn't mean a whole lot. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot more depth you need to kind of explore before you could say that. Athena says, have you seen that article about the thinner the people are, the more money they tend to make? How does that even correlate? I think there's a number of reasons why. I mean, again, these are cultural factors, but I think in general, when people are thinner, there is a bias. There's no question there's a bias in our culture that the heavier you are towards obesity, you're discriminated against. I mean, I feel that it's true. I don't think it's right, but I think I see it. I think it's true. And so I don't want it to be that way, but it is what it is. And I think that's part of it. But I also think another part of it is that when you are thinner, when you're at or near the weight you want to be at. Okay. So I'm not saying it has to be a specific number, but I'm saying when you feel good, when you feel like, okay, I weigh what I want to look, I'm happy with how I am. I think you operate at a higher level. I think your confidence is higher. I think your self-image is higher. I think you're just in a better position to do better work, because you don't have all that shit running through your head. Again, this is what I always try to point out to people. It's the mental consequences of the weight that's the biggest issue a lot of times, because you're in your head constantly feeling bad about your weight, worrying about your weight, think about what you should eat, beating yourself up for not doing it, feeling like shit. That has an impact on your performance in life. So, I that doesn't surprise me at all that thinner people would make more money, What's up? Oh, Z, is that you go? Okay, I got you. Brianna is on my burner account. Yeah. So Brianna's in the program. Yeah. Program's going good. It's going so good. That's great. Awesome. Of course it's going good, folks. When's the last time you approached your weight loss and you were calm and relaxed when you did it? When's the last time you started a diet and at the end of the diet, you were like feeling totally relaxed and calm and centered and feeling really good? When you do your diets, you're stressed out of your mind, overwhelmed, frustrated, annoyed. Bramley says, every time I get a takeaway, I think that wasn't even that good, but before it seems so appealing. Yeah, Bramley, that's very important. That's exactly, again, that's that dopamine thing again. So yeah, very important to recognize that because it's very true. Yeah, Brianna says, yep, changing from how I look, calories, to how I feel is so transformative. Yes. It's a huge transformation, folks. You've been conditioned by the diet industry to focus on how you look, and it's not enough for most people. Jim says, oh my God, I recently bought the healthy cereal I heard about. I'm so happy because I love cereal, but most of it isn't healthy. It's the Nestle Fitness. I'm laughing, but I shouldn't do that because we're all on our path and we all know what we know. But yeah, anything by Nestle is not going to be healthy. Okay. Anything in a box and a bag is not going to be that healthy. Cereal is absolutely not that healthy. None of it, even the healthy cereal. So, but again, Nestle Fitness is probably better than, they got literal cookies in cereal now. So it's probably better than that. Everything's on a spectrum too. Okay. But most of the things you think are healthy are not, folks. Yeah, Jonathan knows now. See, there's Jonathan. Jonathan had no clue about the food, not more than a month ago. And yet here he is now. Jonathan knows, he has the eyes to see the bullshit. And that's a huge thing, to be able to get the results you want. The Johnny D Show. Everything you say resonates with me. Cool. I like that name. Do you literally have a show? That's awesome. Blas says, thanks, Jim. Love the program. Got to go. Oh, Australia. All right. Yep. I get a lot of Australia people. I get out of countries other than America. I'm in America, or the United States. Someone gave me, as I went to Canada and someone busted my chops. I said, I'm from America. They go, yeah, I'm from America too. I said, oh, when'd you move here? No, Canada's part of America's, you know? I said, okay. I see what you're saying, but come on. No one refers to Canadians and Americans. But anyways, I stand corrected. I mean, I'm from the United States. I'm a United States citizen. But anyways, the countries that most sign up for Program Yourself in: Canada, England, Australia. Those are the big three. How do you cope with your kids eating junk when that's not your way of life? That's a good question. I think that, I want them to be of the world. I want them to be able to manage the world. I don't want to raise them in a little bubble and then send them out into the world with no skills of how to deal with this shit. And so I see them eating stuff that I wouldn't ever eat. And I see them eating it in quantities I would never, ever eat. And it doesn't make me feel good. But the majority of their diet is pretty solid and healthy. And so I feel like they got a nice foundation and they're learning how to interact with the foods. And I don't want them to be total weirdos in school. You know what I mean? Like, they're weird enough. They got enough of my weirdness. They're vegetarians and other things that are just weird. So enough, you know what I mean? So I'll let them eat some of the bullshit and be normal. Again, there are some limits. They don't drink soda. It was so funny. One time my daughter, she must have been, I'll say when she was 12 years old, maybe 11, 12 years old. And we were somewhere and she saw a kid drinking soda. And she's like, oh my God. And I was like, what? She goes, that kid's drinking soda. She thought soda was for adults. She thought soda was like alcohol. She'd never had soda in her life. So, the soda, I don't really let him do. I let my son do it. He does it a couple times, but the soda is the worst of it all. But I let him eat the bullshit because, again, I want them to learn how to navigate it. I want them to have those skills. But again, it's relative to what other kids eat. It's much cleaner, but I don't keep them totally clean because, again, I want them to have some of those skills. Myra says, what's the right way to talk to new people about my eating? I don't want to put too much attention to it. I just ignore it as much as humanly possible. I never bring it up. I never talk about it. When it comes front and center, I may just say, I haven't been feeling that great. I've kind of, I don't know, that stuff. I don't know. I haven't been feeling right. So I've just kind of been eating a little differently. I use that one all the time and people pretty much leave you alone with that. So again, whatever way you can do to, to do that, keep them off the trail. Don't let them know you're doing it. Jim said, oh my God, dude, yoga videos would be amazing. Please don't quit on that idea. Okay. Oh, you don't look angry at all. Resting serious face. More like, oh, thank you, Jim. I love that. Resting serious face. That's exactly it. My kids always tell me that, they're like, make some fun videos. Like, stop teaching shit. Stop being so serious. And, anyways, but I'm glad. Yeah. Jim said, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it. Oh, I look calm. Okay. That makes me feel better. Cause I was like, I did make one of them. I'm like, oh my God, I look like, I'm like, okay, now relax your face. And I watched the video back. My face looks like that. I'm like, my face don't look relaxed, but, all right. Well, I look calm. All right. Then that expresses it. So now I feel better. Maybe I'll put that video out that I did make. It's funny. So I don't know. How can they put fitness on the box that I feel scammed? Oh no, Jim. Oh, I feel bad for you. I'm happy for you and I feel bad for you. The journey of realizing how surrounded by bullshit we are it's one of those double-edged swords in life. You know what I mean? It's overwhelming to realize how much bullshit is around, how wrong we are about everything. And it's oh, what a journey. It's an emotional one. It's a tiring one, but yeah, realizing, to be able to see through the bullshit of the food companies is really one of the hardest things in the world to do. It's very hard. That's what I'm saying. I'm reading this book, Swallow This, and I already know this stuff. It's just reinforcing it, but you just do not realize how much forces are coming at you, trying to sabotage you. It's like, take the cigarette companies and multiply it by like thousands. And that's what we're up against. There's so many people making money off of overweight, unhealthy, and unhappy that we live in a funhouse world where it's so difficult to find the truth. It really is. It really is. So yeah, sorry you feel scammed, but again, better to know now than to not do it. Thank you, Jim. That's what I thought. I thought to say they just said it to sound smart. No one says they're from a continent. Thank you. Right. I was like, I was so annoyed by that. They were fun. They were fine, but it was just like, I don't know. Shit like that bothers me because, yeah, exactly. Come on. Who the hell? What Canadian goes, oh, I'm an American? Stop it. Stop it. Anyways. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. I appreciate everything you guys said today. Usual. Awesome. Yeah. Well, I can tell you, we're trying not to laugh about the cereal. I feel dumb. Don't feel dumb, Jim. That's what I'm trying to say. I keep getting, I remember one of the first things I knew, I used to love smart food and I still eat smart food sometimes, but smart food was one of those ones where I was like, oh, it's smart. It must be healthy for you. That's why. And then when I found out years later that it's just cheddar cheese popcorn. It's like, so Jim, I tell you, I will say this. I'll share this with you guys real quick. Cause this was the conversation we're having yesterday in the group coaching call. I regularly say now, like I work in the realm of the stupid. And what I mean by that is that I work a lot focusing on the subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind seems stupid to our conscious mind. And so our conscious mind is the logical, rational part. And it's like, oh, I should just eat, I want to lose weight. I should eat 1,500 calories a day. I should stop eating that. I should do this. And it sounds so easy and doable. But the subconscious mind has its own agenda. And sometimes it just links things together. So it's not logical. It's very Pavlovian. It just links shit together. So it's like I saw smart food and I just made all sorts of natural assumptions. And that was very intentional, by the way. That's what these companies are always doing. They're always, they focus group the shit out of stuff to sneakily. It's very hypnotic too, by the way, because they're implying things in different ways so that we make assumptions. And so we live in a world of bullshit assumptions, and it's up to us to escape from that. And it's challenging. And one of the biggest challenges is that we feel like a fucking idiot the whole time. Because like, oh my God, I can't believe I was tricked out. Oh, I can't believe I thought that. Oh, I can't believe, oh my God, I'm so stupid. We'll feel stupid the whole way. So you can feel dumb, but don't worry about feeling dumb. Okay. Because I literally every day, I love feeling dumb because it means I just realized something new. I'll tell you what I found out today. Okay. There's a place, my grocery store down the street. I said, well, yeah, they got the best donuts around. They make them there because they make them there. Okay. They make their own donuts. And so I'm reading today to swallow this book. What does make your own donuts mean in a place? Right. Well, you imagine, oh, they're back there mixed in the batter, doing the ingredients, dropping them there. Now, you know what made fresh means? It means that they get the donuts sent to them frozen and they put them into an oven and defrost them and heat them up. And I said, oh my God. And it's just, that was my one today. So every day I feel dumb because we're tricked constantly. We live in a world of bullshit. And so to start stepping out of that, we're going to feel dumb. Yeah, Mario. Right. So it's like, and I tell you, listen to me. This is the millionth thing I've realized like this. It's the millionth time I felt like a fucking dumb asshole. So you got to embrace that. Yeah, I love feeling dumb. I love feeling an idiot. I'm stupid, but now I'm not as stupid anymore. Do you see what I mean? And you got to embrace that because you live in a pit of dumbness. We all do. Okay, because they're giant multi-billion dollar companies that are literally, they have people, their whole job is to trick us. And I'm going to make some of these lessons available for you. I have some of them that I've made for my clients, but I'm going to make some of these available for all of you because we need to be able to see the bullshit, and it's unbelievable. And again, but the more bullshit you see and identify, the easier it is. You enlighten yourself, you awaken. And that's the mindset shifts I'm talking about. Once you have these mindset shifts, you change as a person, and now that person acts differently. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, freshly frozen. Exactly. Yeah, it's all marketing bullshit, And so we're just surrounded by it, Yeah, Jim says, thank you, Jim. I learn so much every day from these lives. Yeah, I appreciate that, Jim. And I appreciate you doing that. And, you're talking about what to do. And it's hard for me to go from, kind of step A to step Z here. But if you have not yet, go to my bio, get the hypnosis session, and watch the video I made. The video is kind of like an overview. And I can't do the overview every day. I go nuts. But go watch the overview. It's like 20 minutes or something. But that'll give you more context what I'm talking about. So you can get on here and ask me questions, Jim. I'm happy to guide you along the way. I can't sit here and, explain it, take you through the whole thing from step A to Z, because I already did that in the video. So go watch the video and then get on here and you'll ask better questions because you'll be more awakened. You'll understand things in a different way. So you'll ask better questions and I can help you more, which I'm happy to do. And that goes for all of you. Go to my bio, click the link, get the hypnosis session. It's free. Watch the video. It's free. Read the emails. They're all free. And I will help you see things in a different way. Is everything I say right? I don't think so. But at the very least, you'll start to see things differently. And a lot of times I believe more accurately. And once you see things more accurately, now you can get better results. It's hard to get good results when you're in a fun house. You know what I mean? Everything's not what it seems. And that's the world you're all living in, I think. So let me help you get out of it. Go listen to the hypnosis session, watch the video. All right. Yeah, Bradley says, are they legally allowed to advertise that as made fresh? Yes, they are. They are allowed. The legalese of that stuff is very interesting, So yeah. All right. So yeah, everyone go there, get the hypnosis session, watch the video, listen to the podcast. Podcast is Program Yourself Thin. It's on all the podcast platforms. I'll make one pretty much every weekday, and I'm usually live here around noon Eastern. So if you ever have questions, hop on here and ask me, and let me know. I'm happy to help you out. Okay. And then if you're ever really serious and you want to really, take this on and deal with this area of your life, go get Program Yourself Thin. Come work with me. All right. Let me help you. Right. God damn it. Invest in yourself and get the program and let's do this. Okay. But again, thank you so much. I really appreciate this. A lot of times I learn as much as you all do, hopefully. And I love doing this and getting to speak with you all. So have a great day and we'll talk soon. Bye.